Good evening, everyone. This is Mr. Taylor with Young Engineers of Today. This is a recap of our webinars that took place on Monday, September 15th. This was our last day of using Google Sites. We're going to review a few things. I'll go over what major questions students asked and what was helped with, and that'll be it. All right, with Google Sites, one of the first things that we went over tonight was how you can use shortcuts. Shortcuts, these were Apple shortcuts where you use the command. The other feature is to use the control button on PCs. Now, with that, we went over the major things you need to have with your site, which is a home page, an About Me, a page for each of your projects, which will fall under as sub-pages on my projects, interests, and whatever else you would like to make this site yours. All right. Now, some of the major questions that were asked. First was, how do I load previous made documents, images, PowerPoints, etc.? And what we did was we make sure you're signed into Google, and then go to your drive. From your drive, you can load whatever files you want. You go to Files and you find what you need to load. Okay? Now, once you load, now go to your Google site. And once you go to your Google site, you can actually then go to your Edit, Insert, and you'll have your documents. All right. Now I'm going to show you another example of this, of a website that I showed students this evening that is for one of my doctoral courses I'm taking. I'm a PhD student in STEM education. And the name of this course is Foundation of Distance Education. Now, my example I want to show you is a paper that I uploaded. I made it a Word document, and then I loaded it within my drive. Now, if you go to Insert, you go to your drive, you have all these documents. Now, there's two ways you can look at these documents. You can see them as thumbnails, or you can see them as what they're saved as. And they pretty much go by last modified, or you can make alteration, last edited by me, last opened. Okay? And then you can see all the different features of what you have, from photos, the spreadsheets, the images, the videos, etc. Now, you can't see anything until you hit Save. Once you hit Save, it actually brings up the document, okay? Now, another question was, what should the home page have, Mr. Taylor? And what we said, you want to keep it professional, simple, to the point, just telling you what your site is about as a welcome. As you can see here, I have welcome to my site for Foundations of Distance Education. You will find the assignments for each of the modules. This is a working portfolio for this course. And then I have a picture of my wife and I and a little description of that image. Okay? Now, I created a checklist because these are skills that I want you to be able to have so you can work on this portfolio throughout. Students can develop a home page on your own. A student has created an About Me page with a functional link. From your sidebar, your horizontal bar, and we'll go over horizontal. I can set that up in a moment. Students can use the edit features. Students can use the insert features. Students can format features. Student has created and developed another link. You made another page, basically. Students can load images. Students can demonstrate site organization. Is your website easy to function? The reason these skills are important is that if you can do all of these, then you can do everything else on your own without us having to worry about you as much. All right? Now, some other things you can include: images, screencasts, videos, links, etc. Okay? Now, as I demonstrated, how to add a document. We just went over that. You need to create the document in your Google Drive, and second, go and insert while an edit page. Drive, etc. Same with photos. You can get photos off your Google+. Now, we went over some questions. Now, some of the questions we took in were some repeating questions, and now I'm going to go over the major ones for you. One of the major questions that was asked, how do I change the background? You go under open more actions down to manage site, then go to themes, colors, and fonts. Under there, you can change the background, you can change the color, you can break it down to side header, content area, gadget, sidebar, gadget, horizontal navigation. If you click on this, you can actually upload an image, which I think one student loaded like Minecraft, another loaded Doctor Who, so you can make it your own. And if you don't want it, you can hit clear all, hit cancel. All right. Another question was, how do I delete pages? You have to be on the page first off, so you have to be on a page to delete a page. You can't delete the home page. Another question was, how do I change from having a sidebar to having a horizontal? Now you got to go horizontal navigate, and once you hit it, you'll notice this will click out. When you click on the horizontal navigate, which is highlighted, you can go in. And it's just like how you can change the sidebar. If you go to add page, you can see all the pages, and you just add all those in one by one. All right, and if you scroll down, you can hit OK. And now what you'll notice is it's there. And then it'll start popping up the top. I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete those and hit cancel. And I don't like having a horizontal, I like having a side. And I'll just make sure that's gone. If you didn't like the side, you would just hit that. Or you can do a custom bar and make it however you want. Same concept, okay? All right, now let's scroll back up. Now, another question was asked, Mr. Taylor, what happens if I misspelled the name of my site? All right, we're going to go here, go to Manage Site, and this is where you can change the name of it. All right. Now, if you misspelled one of your pages, just click on your page, hit Edit, and you have access to do that right here. Okay. Now, that was the majority of the questions that were received during class tonight. Then we did a share session for probably the last 15 to 10 minutes of class, where students actually shared their sites, and we looked at each other and they presented their sites to the class. It was very great. We saw a lot of wonderful sites this evening, and look forward to you using them in the future. Now, another major question was during labs. A student asked, "Can we bring bring cameras or our smart devices to take photographs?" And I said, yes, we're encouraging you to do that. We want that. All that we ask is that you only take photographs of yourself working or projects you're working on, and not take pictures of other people, okay? Now, if you have problems where you made a mistake, you can go to revision history and you can go and see everything that you did, okay? So that you can actually make changes in case you deleted something by accident, okay? All right. To those in Hickory, you have a lab this upcoming Saturday, as well as to those in Raleigh have a lab this upcoming Saturday. And then those in Charlotte have one the following Tuesday, not tomorrow, but the following Tuesday. Now, if you have any questions, always please email me or post something on Edmodo, and we'll help you out with that. We will be starting on Wednesday, going over some EV3 stuff to help prepare you to do more advanced things in the labs. Okay? Thank you for watching this presentation. And the last thing was this site. It's a little dated, but it had a lot of helpful things to show you. So check that out. As well as this were tips and tricks that showed you how to do things. Once again, it's a little older because a lot of stuff that's been out there on Google Sites has been around now for quite a few years. So please check out those for extra things, and thank you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.